Hey, what is up guys, it's your boy Tway here. This is a video requested pretty early onto how to level. Now I've already done my speedrunning characters and there are a lot of tips out there already that I put there, but I want to emphasize on how to level up your characters. Not just that, but where I get the resources to T-perk them as well. Because there's one thing that is mainly overlooked, which I still to this day use. Let's get it started. So first off, one of the best leveling methods is just doing Conquest. Now with the recent changes that they make to leveling your characters, what I get is 3 characters that can just clean everything. Then get one of your lowest characters. In this case, let's go over to my Naya for instance. If I pick her, even if she dies right now, she gets the fully experience, which is really good. Now what I also use, and this is also part of the changes, and nowadays these concentrated flasks are dropped. Now you can use these straight away. So guess what, Lilia has one, my Refi has one, and my Naraxis has one. So all of the experience combined that I get from this allows my Naya to soak up all of the E experience. And guess what, if I want to level this up, she's not T2 yet, but if I would for instance use the normal EXP potions, guess what, she would be straight maxed out for her level. That's it. So if you combine all those flasks on top of the usual EXP that you get, it takes you about 3 to 4 days to get a level 90 character just by doing Conquest. Super easy. Okay, now if you put that into perspective, what do you do if you run out of Conquest tickets? Then I would recommend everybody doing 7-12. Now I use this one in my speed run as many times as possible. Now is this the most beneficial? I will show you it is not, but in terms of time it is. So let's check it out. So 7-12 will give you roughly 362k experience. And 7-11 gives you roughly 1/3, a little bit less of that. But if you look at the stamina, it's 14. And if you would check this one out, it is a little bit more stamina, just by a small margin. Now the reason why still this is more beneficial is the fact that all of the new players will have to cope with a very shortage of storage. Now I can just run around, do this instantaneously, not look at my computer for at least around about an hour, maybe 2. And then all of it gets filled up. Then I either sell or grind all of the items that we get, because to me it's quite useless. But then again, all of the experience that I soak in with my characters, guess what? Straight A grade, right? So what you could then do is, once again, get one of the characters that you level up, get 3 characters that can just beat the whole thing, and soak up all of the experience with that main character that you want to like level up. Super easy. Now to show you that if you can progress further than this, it seems as though all of the last levels into every single chapter gives a roughly 3, maybe even 4 times of the experience. So let's check it out. 8-26, almost 500, and 825. Oh, there we go. So there's a big difference in that. And what I haven't actually checked out, and we're about to find it, if there's a special boss, seemingly they give more experience. So if you find yourself a stage that you can 100% kill without worrying, then you can find out every single one of them. So every single boss that stands here, let me double check that, we got a few else, then these ones will give more experience than the smaller ones, which shows the obvious. But then again, you'd have to check how much stamina these are using instead of the other ones. Now guess what, these are half and half and have enough experience to get there. Okay, moving on to some T perking. So one of the best things that you can give your characters is the T perk. So if you get a 5-star, you want to have them +5, so you can get all these things. Now for the people that do know, if I look at one of my latest characters, which is Naya, you need all of these resources. Now obviously there's a very obvious method to get them. So what you do, you go to the portal, upper dungeon, you select whichever one you want to get. Okay, Now, after you've done that, what can you do then? Now, something that I would not advise, because this resource needs to be used for something else. So you go to the guild section. You can do a use shop. You go all the way down and you can get mysterious fragments for a very, I would say a very cheap price. But you cannot select which one you want to get. So in terms of usage, I'd rather get stamina potions like I always am, instead of getting these. And also, as a new player, you would rather go for the mystical beast set, the manticore set, than anything else. But what can you do instead? Now, another one that could be forgotten is the Tower of Ordeal. So you go to the Hall of Heroes, you go to the Tower of Ordeals, and guess what? Onto the reward list. Every 20 that you get, you can get also these resources, which are very beneficial. Now, there's also, but I cannot show that to you guys yet, on the Tower of Challenge there are several that will give you fragments as well. So doing these two will definitely help you out in the long run. Now, something that is mainly overlooked with newer player is League of Honor, and I will show you straight away why everybody should do this. Like, if you get your first, what is it, 8 to 10 characters, I'm not sure how much they changed this up, you can do League of Honor, and it doesn't matter if you win or lose, because the moment you get these honors medals, you can buy yourself fragments of infinity, which will translate to infinity stones, the essences, and the assorted fragments. Now, this will amplify your T perks. I do this every single week, and so far, just to show and a little bit of a flex, got myself almost 630 days. And if I had done them all consistently up to this point, I would have all my characters T5. Now I got a few 4s, a few 3s, a few 2s, or 1, and some nothing, right? If I would have done this from the very start, all consistent, I would have all T5 them, which would initially give me more rubies. So that is something to consider. Now, that practically wraps up the video on how to power level your characters. There has not been a better method for me than this. If you guys have any options that I may have forgotten about, put them into the comments. For now, this is Twebby. Peace.